Adam thought his prank would be legendary. He was disappointed that he didn't get to see his love anymore. What better way to surprise her than by pranking her? Usually she didn't have a bad day, but he knew she'd appreciate seeing him. It was unbelievable that he managed to get the rest of the day off. As far as he was concerned, he thought he knew what she was up to. When he got home, he imagined what his wife would be doing. It was usual for her to cook while he was at work. When he got home, he wondered what aroma would fill the air. No matter what, he thought it would be amazing. His plans were all in place, but he did not realize how far he had gone astray. When Adam left work, the sun was still shining. His arrival home would be 2 hours early. Pranks wouldn't have been as fun if he had warned her he was coming. She wouldn't want it coming. It would surprise her. His only mistake was not foreseeing the terrible surprise he would find. He began his long journey home after getting into his car. Although it would take him an hour to get home, he would still be an hour early. Whenever he got home, his wife would have dinner ready for him. The real reason she was concerned wasn't that she was cooking. He always suspected something, but he didn't confront her. Honestly, Adam had no idea what to expect as he neared home. Was she cooking dinner or doing something else? In retrospect, Adam was mostly unaware of what she was doing. As a housewife, she enjoyed her job. He earned their income while she cooked and cleaned. It had been a good arrangement for both of them, but he was about to discover the truth. After a long drive, the journey was finally over. Because there was no traffic, it took him 40 minutes instead of an hour to get home. It wasn't long before he snuck into the house, ready to prank his wife. He tiptoed to the kitchen when he smelled food cooking. As always, the smell was amazing. In anticipation of dinner, he was excited. Upon arriving, he was shocked at what he saw. The stove was unoccupied when Adam entered the kitchen. She was nowhere to be found. His eyes scanned the surroundings. She had to be nearby because the stove was still on. From the pantry, he heard a giggle. A dog ran past his legs as he slowly opened the door. He saw his wife there. Their relationship was about to change forever because of what she was doing. There was a quality about Adam Leopas that few of his friends and family understood. His workaholic tendencies were apparent. Making sure everything was perfect was one of his favorite things to do. He only took a break when he attended family or friend dinners or events. It was there that he would meet someone different. It was unknown to him that this person existed. Diana and Adam met at an event hosted by one of Adam's friends. He had invited a lot of people to celebrate his birthday. There was a girl named Diana among them. There was an undeniable chemistry between them. It was love at first sight for these two. They could not get enough of each other. Things only got better for them afterward, and they started dating shortly after their meeting. In the end, however, Adam had no idea what would happen. In the following months, Adam's ladam SR Diana grew deeper and deeper. He spoiled her as much as he could by taking her out on expensive dates. He didn't know he was about to receive a warning. His brother told him one evening that he did not fancy Diana much. His feelings about her were bad, and he did not mince words in making this known. Adam was furious when he heard this. He told his brother to back off and that he was just jealous. His brother apologized and never brought it up again, but Adam should have listened to his brother. The fact of the matter was that Adam was about to make a life-changing decision when he didn't even know his girlfriend very well. Adam loved Diana for better or for worse. Even though they had only been dating for 3 months, he decided to do the unexpected thing. Diana had been dropping hints for weeks that she was ready to take things further. He didn't want to disappoint her, and after a bit of looking around, he had a very special gift for her. After finding the perfect item, Adam took Diana out on a very special date. The night was a whirlwind romance, and at the end, he bent down on one knee and pulled out a beautiful ring. It was the most exquisite ring Diana had ever seen. She cried tears of joy and hugged him tight before saying, "Yes," 1,000 times. Yes, it was settled. Diana didn't know this, but the ring was something incredibly special. Not only was it worth a fortune, but it was Adam's great-grandmother's ring. They just didn't make them like that anymore. After looking for it for ages, he finally found it in a small jewelry box in his mother's house. With her blessing, he took it. Now that the couple were newly married, they had to decide their next move. Adam offered to have Diana move permanently into his home where they could start the rest of their lives together. She happily agreed and moved her stuff in, but within a month, things changed quite a lot. Within a month, Diana told Adam that she didn't want to work anymore. She told him that she'd prefer to stay home and look after the house. It would be good practice for when they had a child one day. Adam couldn't hold back joy at the prospect of one day having a kid. He gave her the go-ahead. He loved working anyway. What was the harm? After making the change, Diana got very comfortable in Adam's apartment. She cooked and cleaned every day, but he started to notice something odd. On weekends, she would never let him in the kitchen. It was only while she was cooking. She told him she had a phobia of people touching her food. He had never heard about it before but didn't think much of it. Adam started getting suspicious. There was something going on with Diana now that they were living together. He still didn't think that it was anything serious, but she was hiding something. Still, everyone was entitled to their secrets as long as they were harmless. He tried forgetting about it as time went on. He was buried in his work anyway. One day, while working away at his computer at his office, he heard footsteps coming in his direction. He felt dread come over him. The only time the boss came out of his office, it was to chew someone out. He felt the shadow of his boss overshadow him. He turned, and his blood ran cold. Was he in some kind of trouble? The boss clapped his shoulder and said, "You've been working so hard, Adam. I appreciate everything you've done for this company. I heard you got married. I have a wedding gift for you." He handed Adam an envelope full of cash and said, "I'm also going to give you the rest of the day off. You can go home to your wife. Enjoy the weekend." Adam couldn't believe it. He took this as an opportunity to prank his wife. It was the good kind of prank, or so he thought. Adam thought that his prank would be one for the ages. He was sad that he didn't get to see his wife often anymore. What better way to surprise her than by pranking her? She didn't normally like his hijinks, but he was sure she'd be happy to see him. He couldn't believe he managed to get the rest of the day off. He thought he knew exactly what she was doing. He imagined what his wife would be doing the moment he got home. She told him that she normally cooked while he was at work. He thought about what kind of aroma would be in the air when he got home. Whatever the case, he thought it would be amazing. It was all in place, but he had no idea how mistaken he was. Adam couldn't believe that the sun was still out as he left his work. He was going to get home 2 hours early. He could have warned her he was coming, but then it wouldn't have been much of a prank. His wife wasn't going to see it coming. She'd be surprised. But he had no idea that he would be the one finding a terrible surprise. After getting into his car, he started the long journey home. It would take him an hour to get home, but he'd still be an hour early compared to his usual time. His wife normally had dinner waiting for him when he got home. She was always a bit frazzled from cooking, but that wasn't the real reason. Adam always suspected something was up, but he didn't want to push her. In all honesty, the closer Adam got to home, the less he knew what to expect. Had she started dinner, or was she doing something else? Come to think of it, Adam didn't know what she did for most of her day. She liked being a housewife. She cooked and cleaned while he earned their income. They were both happy with the arrangement, but he was about to learn the truth behind everything. Finally, the long drive was over. He got home in 40 minutes instead of an hour because there was no traffic. He slowly crept through the door, ready to prank his unsuspecting wife. He could smell food on the stove and tiptoed to the kitchen. It smelled amazing, as always. He was excited for dinner, but he couldn't believe what he would see once he got there. Adam walked into the kitchen, but the stove was unoccupied. Where was she? He looked around. The stove was still on, so she was nearby. Then he heard a giggle from the pantry. He slowly opened the door, but as he did, a dog ran past his legs. There he saw his wife. But what she was doing was going to change everything in their relationship. Adam saw so many things wrong. The first was that there was a dog in his house. But then he noticed more horrific details. Diana wasn't alone. He couldn't believe the betrayal. Diana was in the pantry with another man. It broke Adam's heart. He even saw that his great-grandmother's ring wasn't on her finger anymore. Adam didn't know what to do. The dog belonged to the man that was in his house, and he kicked both of them out. He then asked her to explain herself. She cried and told him that it was a mistake and it wouldn't happen again. He might have been foolish enough to forgive her, but then he asked about the ring. What she was about to tell him would have him seeing red. Her tears became so much less genuine when she explained to him that she had sold the priceless ring to a pawn shop. Adam felt rage coursing through his body and kicked her out. A few weeks later, he had finalized the divorce. He would have been alone if it weren't for his brother. After an "I told you so," he was there for him. Adam learned his lesson and even tracked down the ring.